Hey guys, Dale here, back with another update about Odyssey. So today, Odyssey Preview number 1 dropped. I guess, let's take a look at it. This is up on Steam, I'm sure it's in the Discord and on Reddit. Odyssey Preview 1, Map Features, Landmarks, and Biomes. Hey everyone, we're back with the first Odyssey blog post, where we take a closer look at the expansion's new content. We'll be posting leading up to release, which is in approximately 3 weeks. So we know 3 weeks from now. That'll be 1, 2, 3. It'll be the week of July 7th, basically. So long holiday weekend after Independence Day. Today's post is all about the planet. We'll look at the map features and landmark systems, 5 new biomes, and new weather types. We spent a lot of time on new map generation systems and content in Odyssey. For the grav ship to be fun, you need new and exciting places to travel. And don't worry, we'll be going into detail about the grav ship itself soon. Okay. Map features and landmarks. Odyssey revamps map generation with over 85 dynamic map features. These include lava caves, obsidian deposits, drug stockpiles, and hippo habitats. Multiple features can be combined together on one map. Some are random, while others depend on the world map location. For example, river varieties. Rivers come in more shapes and sizes, and they're affected by their location on the world map. You'll find confluences at points where rivers meet, deltas where rivers reach the ocean, and islands where the current splits and rejoins. At the river's source is a headwater, a set of big water pools that flow downstream. Okay, this delta is beautiful. And this is something, it's so funny, when I was doing House Stormguard, I used Map Designer to kind of add somewhat of a delta to that map. Let's take a look, actually. I have it up right here. So this river right here was the natural river. Map Designer, you could create a fork in the river. And so when I created the fork, this branch came off. And then when I spawned into the map, I was like, I would like there to be maybe some islands or something. So I forked this fork, and then I kind of forked it again, just to add some interesting detail. Down below this river, it starts off in like a little lake, and then there's like some other small water features on the map that generated on the map. But I think this is one of the things that I get the most comments about, is like, how did you get this map? And the answer is, I built this map, right? So we have some like sandy shore, we have some muddy shore, we have some fertile shore, depending on kind of like where the shore was located. Along the coast, I thought it made sense for it to be sandy, and then I figured a lot of the river had fertile soil as the shore. So kind of like some breaks with mud between the fertile shore and the sand. I don't know if that's like actually geologically sound, but it kind of like made sense as a transition to me. Here on this river delta, it looks like we got desert, we got mostly desert, desert and rocky stone, but it just looks phenomenal. It's a big wide river, and there are so many beautiful forks, so many opportunities to build along the contours of this river here. If we look at the map tile on the world map, I assume that that's what this is showing. If we look at features, it says that it has a delta and a coast. Delta, a river splitting into many branches as it enters the ocean. This tile borders the coast. That's cool that it gives that detail. And those should be interesting to find. Mixed biomes with Odyssey. Biomes can blend together on single map. For example, a map might have temperate forest in the north and desert in the south. This creates a mix of plants, animals, terrain, and threats. This is freaking neat. So we have temperate forest up here, we have desert down here, and then I assume we'll be getting a mix of both desert and forest animals. So I can see there's like some deer up here, there's some buffalo, maybe that's a boom rat. I don't know if I can spot any individual animals down here. Let's open that in a new tab. Let's take a look. There's something here. Maybe it's the hermit crab, a new Odyssey animal. And then there's something there. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe an ostrich? Yeah, that's all I kind of see in the desert, but that is super neat. There are mods that kind of do this. Geological Landforms is probably best known for adding all kinds of different like map generations. And then there's an add-on to Geological Landforms that does the biome transitions. And it's cool that this is just like baked into the game, because those are two mods I don't think I've ever played on a biome transition map. But those are two mods that I have loaded probably like 80 or 90% of the time. Features and biomes can combine in countless ways. You might settle on a tropical swamp/forest peninsula with wild cocoa trees, extra fish, and warm, sunny weather. Oh, that is interesting. So there could be two like tiles that are right next to each other, but they might have different bonuses when it comes to like extra fish or cocoa trees growing in the wild. I wonder if there's any indicator of that. Landmarks are the most dramatic and gameplay changing map feature. Wow. I just like could not speak for a moment. And frequently combined with multiple map features. They're marked with custom art on the world map. A chem fuel refinery landmark, for example, might include an industrial building guarded by security systems alongside a toxic lake, ancient heat vents, and an insect mega hive burrowed beneath. Okay, so let's take a look at this map. I don't know what this is. Maybe that's new biomes. Maybe that's like the I don't know, the mushroomy biome, but that is definitely different. This is also a different color than what we've seen for biomes before. And then here are some landmarks, it looks like. So it looks like some islands. This is what's selected, Black Cobra Island. Oh, are these landmarks named? So right here, this tile is selected. It's called Black Cobra Island. It features caves, increased plant life, so you do get told what these bonuses are. And it's a coastal island. So I would imagine that this is like a landmass in the middle of water, but then on one of the map edges, there's probably like a beach and shore leading to, the rest of the land here. So we have islands as like official landmass types that biomes can be on. Caves, increased plant life. That's super neat. And then while we're on the world map, I guess we have a view orbit option. That's pretty cool. I can see some other type of new biome over here. Maybe a glacier. And let's go. There are over 45 landmarks to explore. Here are just a few of them. Bays, lakes, atolls, archipelagos. Okay, so this one looked like maybe an archipelago, right? It looks like there's 3 little islands there. And islands. Settle near the water or on coastal islands and build your base on heavy bridges directly over the water. Fish for food, build quaint fishing villages, adapt to springtime floods, and enjoy the natural protection the water provides from enemies. This is super cool. So heavy bridges, I don't think anything is like necessarily too extreme here. We have some heavy bridges going out this way with a solar farm on top of the water, and then we have some heavy bridges going out here with a shuttle landing spot. Other than that, it looks like most of this base is on land. I don't know if this is an archipelago. Like this is connected to this landmass down here, so this might be an island, and then this could potentially be another island up here, or it could be the coast that this map is connected to, or maybe that's the island and this is the coast. I don't know, without getting like a more full screenshot here. let's take a look at this a little closer. Got Shorty with some maybe hermit crabs. I think the most interesting thing is just the shuttle, which is off screen right now. It's right over here. Okay. Abandoned colonies. Why start from scratch? Take over old bases and make them your own. You might find working heaters, defenses, charged batteries, rice crops, stocked barracks, medical supplies, and more. But what happened and why did they leave? I think this is cool. I don't know if this is something I would necessarily do for my starting situation. It might be something I would take advantage of during like a nomadic playthrough. Just kind of like a place to settle, maybe like gather some supplies, maybe do some crafting before we hit the road again. Valleys, crevasses, caverns, chasms, and hollows. These rock formations create defensible and visually striking maps. Undergrounders will love the winding tunnels, natural choke points, and surrounding rock. They offer the perfect foundation for your subterranean fortress. Okay, so here, I guess this is ice that they've mined into. Like we heard that we could construct into like glacier, right? So this all looks like ice walls to me. What's kind of like deceptive here is like, the unrevealed area is fogged in kind of like that brown gray color, but I would assume that none of this is actually stone, or very, very little of it is actually stone, and all of this is like a big glacier. This winding river is pretty cool. I like that tunnel. And then this also looks like it's a biome transition, or maybe this is just the way that the glacial tiles work, is that the majority of it is ice and then the rest of it might be boreal forest. But to me, it looks like a biome transition. We got glacier across most of the map, and then we have it transitioning into a boreal forest. And down here we have stone, we have some minables. I would imagine that there is very little minables inside of the glacier, but you can see there are some segments of this glacier wall that are probably stone. So there might be stone that this ice is covering. Oases. Lush, isolated sanctuaries hidden in the desert. Live off the rich soil, swim in the warm water, and carefully harvest the few precious palms. I'm wondering if swimming is now a recreation activity. It's very exciting if there is. I think like bears and some other animals have swimming animations. So I'm curious about ponds. This is super neat. So we got this lively oasis here. We have like a little dock, maybe for fishing. Around the oasis, it looks like there is tons of fertile soil. And of course, they're doing some crop growing in it. Trees are growing. Then regular soil, and then it transitions into desert. That's super cool. I think it would be really neat to do a little tiny, maybe like a family colony on an oasis. Ancient garrisons, launch sites, chem fuel refineries, and warehouses. These ancient structures can be looted, used as temporary bases, or repurposed as deadly traps for raiders, but be careful, their security systems may still be functional. Landmarks are great for starting colonies, exploring new areas, finding quests, or making pit stops with caravans, shuttles, and grav ships. But even ordinary map tiles offer surprises and new content. We hope that this richness and variety will make each playthrough even more unique. Okay, so this is a lava biome that looks a little less extreme. And we're told that I think at some point that the lava biome is kind of like high risk, high reward, right? Like lots and lots of resources. We can see probably like some steel in here. I think maybe that's what they're trying to show, but I think we need to see more of the map in order to be able to like see that it's resource rich. New biomes. Odyssey adds 5 new biomes, each with their own survival challenges and advantages. Glow Forest. Beneath sulfur-choked skies, the world glows with bioluminescent fungal light. There's no day, only the shimmer of boom shrooms and clouds of hallucinogenic spores. Normal crops won't grow, but who needs the sun? Convert biomass into chem fuel and power your own hydroponics garden. Fish in the marshy ponds, hunt creatures that live among the mushrooms, and give your colonists silicaps to enjoy if they start complaining about the darkness. This is neat looking. I like that it's like waves of rock. I'm very, very curious to see more on kind of like how we get a map that looks like this. There is geothermal. I wonder if it's like technically underground, like if it's roofed or if it's just like permanently weather conditioned darkened. Lava fields. Selling near active volcanoes is madness and opportunity. The mineral-rich soil is perfect for crops, and obsidian and rare ores lie exposed on the surface. But the land is dangerously unstable. Volcanic debris crashes down from above. Ash scorches your colonists' lungs. Lava can erupt without warning, consuming entire outposts, along with their people, animals, and possessions. Survival requires planning and quick thinking. Build fireproof walls, divert lava with barriers, and keep fire foam tools close for emergencies. So talking about the ash burning colonists' lungs, I had been talking about in the comments in some of my videos, and I think in some of the videos themselves, that I think the EVA type suits that we're seeing, the environmental suits that we're seeing, I don't think they're just going to be used for space. I think they'll be used for protection against a hostile environment like this. I'm not saying that they're going to make you lava proof, but maybe you need some kind of like respirator when you're out in this environment so your lungs don't fill up with ash. I'll be super curious about that. I'm terrified just thinking about trying to build a colony on this biome. This is definitely like a go visit with the grav ship type biome, and maybe mess around with it a little bit before I try and live there. Scarlands. It was once a thriving city. Now it's shattered wasteland, leveled by the weapons of mass destruction. You can build here, but survival is brutal. The water is poisoned, the rain is toxic, and Scaria runs rampant among the wild animals. Come well prepared with supplies and firepower. There's no food or help out there. Treasure may lie buried in the rubble, but the old defenses still work, and dormant mechanoids sleep in the ruins, waiting for their next chance to kill. This is somewhere I don't want to be. I think this would be cool for, like, the Dead City playthrough that we did. Could you imagine one of those like city biomes from this rim of mine on a Scarlands map? I think that would be completely amazing. Grasslands, endless golden fields, fertile land, and strong winds. This is a cowboy's paradise. The long growing seasons are perfect for farming, and the steady breeze keeps your turbines spinning day and night. But trees are scarce, and the drought can strike at any time. Don't count on the rain to get you out of trouble. Out here, fire moves fast, and many homesteads have gone up in flames. Space out your ranch, pave paths as fire breaks between pastures, and build with stone to keep your cattle safe. I like this. I've been wanting to do a Western playthrough. I think this is the type of map that I would build it on. And I like that they're kind of like playing into those elements and giving some like advice about like building here and fire being like a constant threat. Are these like little prairie dogs? I'm not sure. We got a little puppy. We have some cows that they're raising for slaughter. They have horses. The grass is actually yellow. So when they're talking about golden fields, they mean it pretty literally. You got Jumper hauling some chickens around. That is awesome. Oh, glacial plain. So this is like the glacier that I kept thinking about. Food is scarce, fuel is precious, and the cold never lets up. Inspired by Ice Age survival, this biome is characterized by cold temperatures, crevasses, and prehistoric animals like mastodons, scimitar cats, and great wolves. Carve shelter into the glaciers, fish from ice holes, and hunt the megafauna for meat and fur. But the real prize lies buried within the ice, the frozen ruins of a lost world. You'll find collapsed homes, crates of forgotten supplies, and cryptosleep caskets that still pulse with life. So this is interesting. Like they talked about how I think not all maps are going to have ancient dangers on them now. I think like it's like 50-50. Whereas it was most maps have ancient dangers on them before. There is still, I think, one of the ways that people one of the reasons people would go ancient danger farming was for easy recruiting, right? You find an ancient danger, you kill minimal threat, and then you potentially have a bunch of people that are easy to down or easy to imprison to recruit. Especially if you're at like a population soft cap for one of the storytellers, like you're not going to be able to rely on like events to get you more people. You know, most of the raiders that you're going to encounter are probably going to die as soon as they're downed. So ancient danger farming, pretty lucrative way of gathering more colonists. And so these special sites, it sounds like, are catered to maybe replacing some of that, making it a little bit more challenging, but still offering you that way to get to some cryptosleep pods and maybe get some new colonists. We have that new like mega tesseron, ultra tesseron in here. We have some other dead mechanoids. So it's really kind of like an archaeological effort to like go find a glacier and see if you can dig Captain America out of it. This part is the part that I was most surprised about, right? When they started talking about world generation, map generation, and biomes, I was like, okay, yeah, we kind of got we got told a little bit about that last week. I'm glad that they're expanding on it. Dynamic terrain and weather, I did not expect. Like, I expected the lava, right? Because they talked about lava. I didn't expect this river to be frozen over during the winter, for rivers to flood during certain weather events. That's amazing to me. Odyssey adds several systems to make maps feel more organic and alive. For example, the terrain changes. Water freezes and melts as the temperatures shift. In winter, thin ice forms over bodies of water. Build a cozy fishing hut on top. Cut a hole in the ice. Oh, you can cut a hole in the ice. I was wondering, if you're going to have a fishing hut, you're going to heat things up. It's going to get warm in that hut, right? But maybe as long as like the outside is a certain temperature, then I guess the inside ice stays frozen and you have to cut a hole in it. Add a campfire so colonists can fish in warmth all winter long. That's pretty neat. These are gifts that I cannot expand. So if I open a new tab, it's a little better. You can kind of see it here forming the ice. Yeah. So it grows from the shore and then fills in. That's pretty cool. Let's open you in a new tab. Lakes, rivers, ponds can flood in spring or during torrential rains. Shallow flood water will spread across the land, destroying crops and irritating your colonists with wet feet. Build barriers like walls, sandbags, or barricades to stop water from getting everywhere. That's nice that the sandbags and barricades are included. Like, you know, it makes sense that sandbags would hold water back, not just be used as a fortification. That is really neat. And we played with a mod that did flooding, and it was pretty cool. Sandstorms sweep through deserts, getting sand everywhere and annoying your colonists and leaving a big mess to clean up. Nobody likes sand. Okay. So we have some kind of like beacon here. So maybe this is a quest site or a landmark site that they're visiting. and it looks like we have a sandstorm going on. Torrential rain causes rivers and lakes to overflow. Downpour also. Okay, so this was just talking about some of like the dynamic terrain. This is talking about the weather features themselves. So torrential rain causes rivers and lakes to overflow. Downpour also makes it hard to see. Okay, it's not too different from rain. Toxic rain occurs in the Scarlands, and it's dangerous for colonists caught outside. It causes toxins to build up in the bloodstream, gradually poisoning them. Strong winds hinder movement across open ground, but keep your wind turbines running, so I expect we get lots of strong winds on the grasslands. Blizzards bring heavy snow and fierce winds, obscuring vision and turning walks into slow, cold trudges. Blind fog rolls in thick, drastically reducing visibility and the maximum range of weapons and abilities. Oh, that is new, that it actually impacts the range of your weapons and abilities. Overcast skies are gloomy and block out the sun, decreasing solar power generation. More blog posts on the way. We're really excited to see maps and colonies you guys build when you get your hands on Odyssey. Even the dev team is surprised with the new maps we make. Every map is truly unique. This is just the first preview, and next week we'll look at grav ship. We'll look at the grav ship and space. Until then, wishlist Odyssey. Okay, I think that's it. So I was waiting all day yesterday, refreshing this page like crazy, and then this dropped today, right before I went to head out to lunch with my sister. I'm hoping that they will stick to the same day, so we'll be back next Thursday to talk about grav ships and space in Odyssey. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. As always, until next time, have a good one. Bye.